Give me 4 years to teach the children, and the seed I have sown will never be uprooted. The way to crush the bourgeoisie is to grind them between the millstones of taxation and inflation. A lie told often enough becomes the truth. The goal of socialism is communism. One man with a gun can control 100 without one. Give us the child for 8 years and it will be a Bolshevik forever. There are no morals in politics, there is only expedience. A scoundrel may be of use to us just because he is a scoundrel. Fascism is capitalism in decay. The best way to destroy the capitalist system is to debauch the currency. The oppressed are allowed once every few years to decide which particular representatives of the oppressing class are to represent and repress them in Parliament. It is true that liberty is precious, so precious that it must be carefully rationed. Democracy is indispensable to socialism. Sometimes, history needs a push. Despair is typical of those who do not understand the causes of evil, see no way out, and are incapable of struggle. The modern industrial proletariat does not belong to the category of such classes. The press should be not only a collective propagandist and a collective agitator, but also a collective organizer of the masses. Without revolutionary theory there can be no revolutionary movement. Freedom in capitalist society always remains about the same as it was in ancient Greek republics, freedom for slave owners. Communism is Soviet power plus the electrification of the whole country. When there is state there can be no freedom, but when there is freedom there will be no state. Crime is a product of social excess. While the state exists there can be no freedom, when there is freedom there will be no state. Can a nation be free if it oppresses other nations? It cannot. When one makes a revolution, one cannot mark time, one must always go forward, or go back. He who now talks about the freedom of the press goes backward, and halts our headlong course towards socialism. Every cook has to learn how to govern the state. A revolution is impossible without a revolutionary situation. Furthermore, not every revolutionary situation leads to revolution. It is impossible to predict the time and progress of revolution. It is governed by its own more or less mysterious laws. Our program necessarily includes the propaganda of atheism. If it were necessary to give the briefest possible definition of imperialism, we should have to say that imperialism is the monopoly stage of capitalism. Any cook should be able to run the country. The most important thing when ill is to never lose heart. Politics begin where the masses are, not where there are thousands, but where there are millions. That is where serious politics begin. The government is tottering. We must deal out the death blow at any cost. To delay action is the same as death. Without a revolutionary theory there cannot be a revolutionary movement. Under socialism all will govern in turn and will soon become accustomed to no one governing. If socialism can only be realized when the intellectual development of all the people permits it, then we shall not see socialism for at least 500 years. To rely upon conviction, devotion, and other excellent spiritual qualities, that is not to be taken seriously in politics. The history of all countries shows that the working class exclusively by its own effort is able to develop only trade union consciousness. Capitalists are no more capable of self-sacrifice than a man is capable of lifting himself up by his own bootstraps.